Hi there, this is Adrienne Green, Realtor with Sampson Properties, and I'm here with Heather Bates today. She is an interior designer with her own company, Heather Bates Design, and I'll put all her contact information in the description below so you can reach out to her with more questions. But today, Heather's going to share with us some fabulous ideas about timeless things you can invest in for your house this year. So I'm really excited for her to share her wisdom with us and give us some ideas for what we can do in our house this year.
Thanks, Adrienne. This is really fun. Yeah, so timeless trends are kind of at odds because trends are things that come and go, and right now our society is more about sustainability and things that are timeless. And so when you have a new home or you're moving into an older home, you always want to have things that feed your soul and make you feel comfortable, but you may not know what you should invest in, right? So I would always say you need to invest in things you sit in, things you sleep on, and things you put your feet in. That's my mantra. So, for example, you might think, 1,000 or 1,600 is fine to spend on a sofa. I can tell you from experience that that's not going to be a sofa that you're going to have for a long time, especially if you have kids or you have a dog. You need to have a more substantial sofa, and the higher you go in price, the better quality you get, the better materials you're made in, that are made,
Right.
Yeah, you get. So I went to a local furniture store with clients who they didn't have a lot of money to invest in things. And we did get them some good furniture, and I walked over to an area where I saw furniture that looked really nice, and the salesperson said that was their high end of the store. And my test for quality, and this is something you need to know, is if you're looking at a sofa, you want to go up and knock on the side. Now, a lot of things like chairs, like the swivel chairs I'm in right now, the side has some give because the fabric is over the edge, but you can feel the hard edge of the wood underneath. In sofas, sometimes when you do that knock test, you'll feel a little give, like there's something there, and 9 times out of 10, that's cardboard. You will have a sofa that's made out of carpet and plywood, and maybe a little bit of hardwood, and that's the kind of thing you're going to get at some of these places. That when you don't know what you're looking for. So thing you need to look on for a sofa is when you sit on the cushions and the back cushions, do you feel like there's a little give but not a lot of give? Do you feel it's a solid piece when you move side to side? Can you sit on the arm and feel like you can sit on the arm, it's not going to give away?
Or if your children are going to climb up and sit on the arm in the back, is it going to sustain them?
Yeah, or are they going to take all the pillows off to make a fort, Or are they going to be still nice and poofy when you put them back on? So I would say definitely invest in at least a very good sofa, because if you're going to pay $3,000 or $4,000 for a sofa plus the new fabric if you're going custom, 20 years from now you can reupholster it and it'll still be just as good quality.
Now, are there certain fabrics you recommend for sofas? Like, do you think leather sofas tend to last longer in terms of, trying to move away from disposable items and trying to have something that lasts a long time? Are there certain fabrics you would recommend that have longevity?
Leather, real leather, not pleather, but real top of the line leather, I think is much better for a chair than a sofa. First of all, real leather, if it's matte, not shiny, if you want to put pillows for comfort on it, they won't slide off. If you have a cat or a dog and you have a leather sofa, you can say goodbye to it, because they are going to rub down the leather. Their claws, if it's a cat, might make slashes in it, and then what do you do? So most people that have parties or kids are concerned about things spilling on the sofa. They're afraid to put white sofas or cream sofas in their house. Really. And you may or may not be aware now that there are fabrics that are coming out You've probably heard the word Krypton. Krypton is a finish that's applied to fabrics after they are made, and they are pretty impervious. The big thing we do for testing is we take a little swatch of fabric. It's about a 8x8 square, and we spill red wine on it or Coca-Cola, two of the things that will make a lot of mess. And basically it beads up like water on oil, and you take a paper towel, you just pat, 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 and it's gone. There's also a guy I have who puts a water-based solution on drapes and rugs and fabrics that will hold up for a long time, because one of the things you want to think about is off-gassing of fabrics and
chemicals in our environment is a really big issue now.
Yeah, so water-based is pretty well, and I know that like for oriental rugs or rugs that you invest in, you can spray that on there and it can withhold several washings.
Okay.
And these also help keep your fabrics from fading, and which is really important.
So it sounds like people can choose the fabric they want. We just need to get it properly protected with some of the options that we have today in terms of that.
Yes. The other piece I would say is, if you're someone who likes rugs, many of the rugs that you see at HomeGoods or online at Wayfair, they are, when you put them on a floor, if you don't put a mat underneath them, you will pull it up and you'll see all this white chalky substance underneath it. And that is actually the rug, the fabric that's backing it is actually starting to come apart.
Oh.
It's disintegrating. Yeah. So since I'm all big about sustainability, personalization, and all that, you know, it's great to have a rug that looks modern and all that. Or you buy a rug that's modern, that's better quality, that's going to last, and you put a good pad underneath it. But you know, old Persian type rugs have a lot of colors that you can pull from. So I have a navy blue velvet sectional in my family room, and I had asked my husband what color he wanted. Did he want cream, which was a safe choice, or do you want blue? Because in our basement right now, wrapped up, we have an 11x17 1982 Persian rug that came from Mashhad in Iran, and thousands of colors in it, and that particular blue was in that rug, and my husband said blue. He said it's kind of boho. Well, it's not really boho. It's it works because the blue's in the rug. The rug has a lot of darkness to it, black and red and all that, so the blue kind of feeds into that, and so I bought that knowing that someday that's going to be on my rug.
Right, they'll be in the same room and they'll go together. So planning for the future. So, so we have investing in a good sofa, investing in high quality rugs that'll stand the test of time, whether they're new or older.
Right.
Both have their positives, but that rugs are something where you'll see a difference between investing in a high quality rug or getting a less expensive one that won't last as long. Is there one more thing you want to share with us today?
Yes. Do not be afraid to paint your walls. Okay? Gray is on the other side of the bell curve, so it's going to start peaking low. People are tired of seeing gray in the wall. It's a big fallback for realtors when they want to sell a house.
Well, you're trying to appeal to the masses.
You are.
Heather told me a very interesting statistic right now about blue. Did you want to share that with everyone?
Yeah. You may or may not know that Pantone chose the color blue for their color of the year. Blue is a color that 82%, I think, of the population in the world likes. And the reason I have blue in my office, this is Newberg green, even though it's blue,
of course,
from Benjamin Moore, is because I have so much white underneath it in the molding. If I had done this whole room in blue, we face north, this would have been a very dark room. And sure, I like moody, dark rooms because they're cozy and all that, but I didn't really want my office to be like that. So the ceiling's white in here too. And I have nice warm wood floors, so it all flows well together. The other thing, this piece right here, this is where you can add some antiques. Antiques bring some gravity and ground your rooms, okay? If you have light colors and you have dark floors and you have all this new, there's something to be said for having old. So my husband found this in Leesburg a couple years ago. It was $98. It is from the 1800s, and it was a window in a church. And what I loved about it was it still has the rope in it from being, you know, used, and it has that little bit of paint left on it.
Right.
So I have this idea, you know, the easy thing would be, oh, if you have a tall room, put it on the fireplace, throw a wreath in it if you're country and, you know, but I'm not. So my feeling is someday we'll have a house where maybe there's a wall that's inside the house coming out on a stairwell, and I can punch an opening through and put this in the opening and have an unusual thing, because when you design a house on the inside, you always need to have something that's a conversation piece.
Right.
It's different. Just as much as you need to address the bully in the room, which might be an ugly fireplace.
Yes.
Okay. So to sum it all up, sustainability is a big thing now. Health and wellness in your homes, which is all about the off-gassing of fabrics and rugs and all that. There are ways to get around it, and as much as you maybe you're one of those people that like your granny's furniture, the granny millennials, as they call them, or granimals or something. Yeah, there's a group that are going back to that old stuff, because when things are changing so fast and technology is changing so fast, things like that give us more comfort.
Right.
You know, it's just the way it is. So if I had painted this room green, this room would not feel as cozy as it feels right now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So thank you, Heather, for all your tips. Thank you for letting us come into your home office here and look at everything. But we learned a lot today about things we can invest in for our homes for the future. So good sofa, a good rug, painting blue is okay, right? It's still a very well liked color, so we can invest in blue on the walls, and maybe some wonderful antique statement pieces to have in the house and to add some gravity to the rooms. So thank you so much for sharing with us today. And again, make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the channel, and all her information will be below, but that way you'll find out about future videos as well. So thank you guys again, Adrienne Green, and thanks for your time today.